You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
To ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story, whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life. We take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. On your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
14th day of October 2025, and we're coming to you live not from the Port Mall but from the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinrabi Holder, and it's good to be outside yet another day. And I know that Tobagonians are smiling. It is the first day after the budget reading, 6.3%, Adana.
Yes, and there's a lot to unpack this morning, and I do hope, of course, that you, our viewers, can be here to be a part of the conversation this morning. We want to hear what you have to say. We've been seeing the socials, we've been seeing your comments and your remarks, but remember, you can also be a part of our conversation this morning by leaving your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. We do want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of our discussion this morning. But before we get into all of those talks, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 14th October 2025. The Tobago House of Assembly received its largest budgetary allocation to date, with Finance Minister Devindranath Thakur announcing $2.96 billion for fiscal 2026, representing 5% of the national budget. It marks the first time since the THA's establishment in 1980 that the Tobago has received the upper threshold of the Dispute Resolution Commission's recommended range. The allocation surpasses previous year's levels of around 4.3%. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine welcomed the move, calling it a step in the right direction towards equity and sustainable development. Up next, Tobago's ANR International Airport is expected to be fully operational by March 2026, marking a major milestone for the island's tourism and air transport sectors. Finance Minister Devindranath Thakur made the announcement during the budget presentation, noting that the airport's redevelopment began in 2019 and was completed in February 2025. A practical opening was held under the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. Thakur said the final preparations, including staffing, training, and system testing, are underway to ensure full operational readiness, positioning Trinidad and Tobago as a leading air hub. And finally, Chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, Martin George, has endorsed the 2026 national budget as supportive of Tobago's economic development, noting the government's facilitative approach to tourism and infrastructure. With the budgeted allocation to the Tobago House of Assembly announced yesterday, the Chamber welcomed commitments to the ANR Robinson Airport and hotel projects, but emphasized that the real progress depends on the THA's effective management of fiscal and human resources. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we head on over to our birthday shout-outs. And this morning, we start off the birthday celebrations by saying happy birthday to Mr. Delman Baker. Delman Baker is celebrating a birthday today, and we do say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful and an amazing birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Baker.
We also say happy birthday to Miss Rhonda Bishop. Happy birthday to you, Miss Bishop. God's richest blessings to you on your special day, and we pray that you stay safe and you celebrate with friends and family, and you take the time out to reflect on God's blessings in your life. Happy birthday to you.
We continue by saying happy birthday to Keelan Whitlock. Just 2 days ago, his sister Keela celebrated. And so, of course, we're saying happy birthday to you. Today is your day to shine, your day to be the best version of yourself. And we do hope that as you continue to give of yourself and to represent Tobago wherever you go, that you continue to receive the grace of God to so do. So happy birthday to you, Keelan Whitlock.
Happy birthday to Mr. Julian Celestin. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Celestin. God's richest blessings to you on your special day. And we know that you will take some time off to reflect and thank God and really reminisce on all the blessings that you've received in this life. And we pray that going forward that you keep God first and put him in front of all your plans. And we wish you all the success.
And finally, we wrap up the birthday celebrations by saying happy birthday to Latoya Horsford. Latoya Horsford is also celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful and an amazing birthday. And remember, if you are celebrating, even though we do not have your photographs, we want you to put God first, because he's the sole reason why there's anything for you to celebrate. All right, so it's the day after budget 2025-2026. The budget was ready yesterday, and of course, we know the position of Tobago. And so we're going to be having conversations this morning here in studio. So Akin Labi,
Yes.
tell our viewers who are we speaking with and what we are speaking about.
Well, before we get into any budget conversations this morning, firstly, we're going to have a conversation with Mr. Alan Stewart, who is the director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, and he's going to be talking about emergency plans for the Tobago Carnival. You know, even though we have the budget reading and we are all excited for the 6.3%, we still have a number of activities happening in Tobago in October, and so we need to talk about those as well. After that, we're going to have one Mr. Anselm Richards, who is the Chief Technical Advisor to the Tobago House of Assembly, and he's going to be discussing budget 2025-2026. He's going to be giving us a review. And then finally, we're going to have one Miss Anne Natasha II, who's the chairman of the TPP, and they're going to be talking about TPP screening. So we're going to have a bit of politics wrapping up our program this morning.
All right, and of course, viewers, you know that we want you to be a part of the conversation. Everything we're going to discuss here this morning is very, very important, and we want you to have your say. So for those of you who are viewing us on our social media pages, of course, you know you can leave your comments on Facebook and YouTube at Tobago Updates. And for those of you who are viewing on AMPLIA 102 or Flow 121 and 130, we welcome you as well. You too can have your say. You might not be able to put your comments while you're watching your television, but of course, you can have your say. You can always go back to our recordings on our Facebook and Facebook page and leave your comments there after the broadcast this morning. Of course, we want to say a special thank you for always choosing us and making us relevant as we continue to bring you a content that is full of information as it relates to things happening here in Tobago. But before we get into all of these conversations this morning, of course, we have to go for a short break. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Cano Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
How it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When you rum, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive cooler party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes matched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarkets, Barcode, Lost Restaurant, and Launch. Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Girl, roll up now, you show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello.
Nirvana, Tobago's premier all-inclusive event for Carnival 2025.
About the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and wave your hands to the sky like so. Just look at the person next to you and say welcome to the
Join us for a night of elegance, energy, and unmatched vibes at Fête AMPLIA. Come dressed in your finest island chic white attire and indulge in a premium carnival experience like no other. Experience live performances by Nadia Batson and Sass, Patrice Roberts and the 18 Band, Charles Marshall, Lyrical, Ramonapi, Juby, and many more. Get your tickets now at IslandEtickets.com. Physical tickets available in Trinidad at SIP on the Avenue, Shuraholic, Trin City Mall, Port of Spain, and Center City Mall. Happy's Waterhole, Pleasantville, Avala, Heartland Plaza, in Tobago, Tobago, Barcode Scarborough, Deltec Distributors Argyle, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Jade Monkey Crown Point, Shoeholics Lowland, and any committee member. Immerse, illuminate, indulge. Saturday 25th October 2025 from 5 p.m. at the magnificent Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Dress code Highland Chic, all white. Nirvana. Vet Habla, where luxury meets rhythm and elegance meets euphoria. Don't just attend, arrive in style.
The official hub for Tobago Carnival 2025. Tobago Updates presents the We Carnival series, where mass meets culture. Catch us live with exciting interviews and spectacular performances from Verse, Tam Tam, and many more. Stay locked in for your chance to win tickets to hottest carnival events, a carnival bar hopping experience for you and your crew, and a weekend stay at Mandalina Grand Hotel. It's happening right here. Tobago Updates, We Carnival.
If you see the size on that bam bam big energy, colossal energy, and it turns up on the tension, move in one direction, go shadow you. Me and you jamming on the junction or the avenue. You can't refuse the good vibes, real vibes, keep it we energy.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversation this morning by speaking with Mr. Anselm Richards. He's the technical advisor to the Tobago House of Assembly as we get into the budget review conversation this morning. Good morning, Mr. Richards, and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, and good morning, Tobago. Good morning, whoever it is you are.
Of course, a pleasure having you this morning. And we want to get straight into the conversation because we've had conversations before as the Tobago House of Assembly presented their budget, as well as the expectations for the Tobago share in the national budget. And of course, the budget was ready yesterday. And we want to get straight into the review. And of course, we're talking about all things Tobago. Now, before we went into the budget presentation, we heard the secretary saying that she had conversations with the Minister of Finance. Initially, she was hoping for 5.9% of the share of the budget. And of course, after having conversations with the minister and having, explaining to her the position, the financial position of the nation, she said that she will not accept anything less than 5%. And here we are, the day after the budget, and being awarded the actual 5%, an additional, bringing us up to 6.3%. Tell us about, what is the feeling like, and of course, the justification of the budget as it relates to Tobago.
I kind of lose you there for a while, but from the gist of your inquiry, I think that the 5% that we receive is really in line with our basic expectation after we would have had the meeting with the Minister of Finance a few weeks ago, when we were looking at the actual reality, the fiscal reality of the country. And he explained to us what the challenges that he was facing to put the numbers together to ensure that the national pie that is available for fiscal 2026 is shared, equitably across the nation. And we stood our ground and said to him that, look, well, at least we need to get our per capita share of the budget, which really works out to 5.1%. And we stood our ground on that and telling, well, you cannot come to the parliament and say anything that starts with 4, because that will be the whole conversation. You have to say 5, and it bring a new dynamics into the fiscal reality of Tobago, and that he did yesterday. And I think generally we are satisfied that, given where the country is as a whole, I think the 5% is a reflection that this government in Port of Spain, this UNC government, is listening and taking seriously the concerns of Tobago in terms of our fiscal entitlement over the years. We have had this conversation with the last administration for 4 years. We have written to the Prime Minister outlining the DRC and the changes in the population dynamics in Tobago, which also which his government recognized and informed the transformation of the in 2021, when the size of the island government population growth from 4.03 to 5.1% in 2021. And we have been pointing that out to the former administration in Port of Spain for 4 years, that we need to shift the minimum percentage share of the DRC in line with the reality of the population of Tobago as a share of the national population. So I think Tobago can generally say that they are satisfied. I think we have some fiscal space in Tobago now to do some of the critical things that we want to do to touch the lives of Tobagoans in a positive way, and to really start our journey on this road to becoming the greatest secular island on the planet. We have the minister recognize the development pathway plan that we would have done for Tobago, and we spoke about it. Very clear, very precise document. So then we are not just operating in a space without any radar to take us in the direction we want to go. We have a comprehensive plan as to the journey we want to take Tobago along.
Mr. Richards,
Hello?
Yes, I echo your sentiments in terms of course, having the.
Could you take up your volume? Could you take up your volume a little bit? I'm not hearing you loud enough. I'm hearing you, but.
Are you hearing me any better now? I'm hoping you can hear me now. But what I'm saying is.
Yes, I'm hearing you much better now. Yes.
Having historically the biggest portion of the budget that we've had Yesterday, I was listening to a conversation. I think it was pre-budget conversations. The Deputy Chief Secretary and the Deputy Political Leader of the TPP had a conversation yesterday, and she was talking about smart money and tie-up money. Now we have the 5% that we've asked for, as the Secretary of Finance requested. We have that 5%, but how do we determine when and how that money is released? Because when she spoke yesterday and she was talking about the tie-up money, she was talking about the money not being readily accessible because of certain policies that are in place to release money, to release funds, to access the money and stuff like that. What is the position? Are you able to say what is the conversation going to be now in a timely manner, and also that we have access to the money when needed and not necessarily having to go through the red tape of applying for it and asking for permission to have stuff released for certain projects, as the case might be. This is in accordance to what the Deputy Political Leader and the Deputy Chief Secretary said yesterday on an media interview.
I think the deputy political leader was probably trying to explain some of the fiscal reality or financial reality that the THA faces. And let me separate the issues. And I don't know where the concept of the smart money and the tie-up money come from, but probably she has the parameters to explain that. I think what you were trying to explain is that when there are funding and grant funding provided by international and multilateral agencies to Tobago, because they recognize Trinidad and Tobago as a sovereign nation, we have to get non-objection and approval from the central government to get access to those funding. And that creates a bureaucratic nightmare for us in having the access to those funding. For instance, the IDB would have approved financial support to the THA for the establishment of the Tobago Development Fund in the sum of $100,000 to build out the platform and help us to get this entity, because the proposal we submitted to them, they recognize the critical need of such an institution for Tobago. And all we wanted from the Ministry of Planning to get access to that $100,000 to do the work that we are doing to advance Tobago's development was a non-objection letter. And that is nearly going into 2 years, and we are unable to get that non-objection letter. So that $100,000 in grant support for that project in Tobago is just parked in the IDB because the Ministry of Development, of Planning and Development, refused to provide a non-objection letter. I have had an extended conversation with the former minister. She's now the political leader on this issue. And to date, we have not gotten that non-objection letter to get access to that grant funding. There's another issue that when Beryl struck Tobago, the Caribbean Disaster Insurance Company paid out some funds to restore the damage that Tobago suffered and the residents. And that money came to Trinidad because that's the mechanism. And we were unable to access the money. As a matter of fact, you probably heard the Secretary and myself spoke to this issue before, where the Minister of Finance told us bluntly that he has not given us the money because it's the government of Trinidad that pays the insurance premium for that. So that is the kind of difficulty you have when money is coming to Tobago through the national system from grant agency. At the national level for the budgetary process, this budget is a law. This budget is law. So when the Parliament passes this budget and Tobago's allocation is approved by the National Parliament, then the mechanism of release, the THA Act says that the Tobago House of Assembly should receive its parliamentary allocation from the Ministry of Finance en bloc, quarterly in advance en bloc, meaning that we should get 3 months. So the allocation that was allocated to Tobago in yesterday's budget should be divided into 4 quarters. And every 3 months, we should get that amount, 3 months of that amount in advance. What has happened for the last 10 years under the last regime, because of the cash flow problem that the country was facing, the central government was releasing the money to Tobago monthly, because of the cash flow problem they claimed that they were facing. And that was putting a strain on our planning and implementation activity in the THA. And therefore, we had to resort to the overdraft facility, which we have as a buffer. Because when salary time comes, you can't tell Tobagonians who have families and children to feed that the money have not come from Port of Spain. So there's a $250 million overdraft facility that is attached to the Tobago development, the Tobago fund account. So when we don't receive the money on time from Port of Spain, we activate the overdraft so we can pay Tobagonians and keep the momentum going in terms of the THA work program, right? So we are experiencing some issues in terms of the Ministry of Finance following the law. What happened when this administration came in 2021? We met with the then Minister of Finance and explained the cash flow problem that the month-to-month is having on the THA operation. And the then minister made an adjustment, and the current arrangement is that we get 2 months in advance, and then we get the other month before the quarter ends, and then the next 2 months. So that has improved the cash flow situation in Tobago. And what has happened is that the overdraft interest moved from $10 million a year to $2 million because we sparingly use the overdraft now. So the releases from Port of Spain is stabilizing somewhat because of the improvement in those arrangements. We have had conversation with the current minister on this issue, and we are moving to have the Ministry of Finance resort to the provision of the law that the THA should get its money quarterly and block in advance. That will also depend on the cash flow position of the country. We have to take this thing in real steps. So that's the reality.
Mr. Richards,
yes.
Now that we are at 5%, you said that we'll have a bit more financial leeway. I want you to tell Tobagonians what that would look like in terms of projects, initiatives, grants, whatever plans that you'll have for Tobago. What does it look like in a real sense?
Okay, so what this means is that we have basically, and let us round it off, $2.96 billion. That is about $3 billion available for us to do the business of Tobago and the business of Tobagonians for the next fiscal 2026. What that means is that when we divide that into our, let us say, our chart of accounts in terms of recurrent expenditure and development expenditure, if we have the ability now, and the THA has that flexibility, to do some reassignment of funds based on the program and the intended outcome that we are seeking to achieve and deliver to the people of Tobago. So in that regard, we can make the adjustment. Currently, the numbers are saying that 2.7 million is for recurrent expenditure, and $201,500,000 was allocated for development expenditure. We leave European CPEP out of the conversation for now. What we can do, the THA has the legal authority through the Executive Council to make adjustment. We can cap our recurrent expenditure at a certain figure. Let us say, like, okay, in the fiscal that just ended, we would have expended about $2.4 billion on recurrent expenditure. That's paying salaries, paying the light bill, keeping the school open, paying for school feeding, paying for security, paying water rates and so forth. So that comes up to about $2.4 billion. That leaves us with 2, 4, and 5. So we have approximately $600 million for development work, moving from $205 million in fiscal 2025. That is a huge improvement. That is over 100+% improvement in what we can do in terms of development work, to do the transformative work that we need to do to grow the Tobago economy, to improve the lives of Tobagonians, to create opportunities as food for the young people in Tobago. So that gives us a fiscal space to do those kind of things. And if you recall, the Secretary of Finance presents a very pointed budget in terms of what we are trying to achieve, with some focal areas in tourism, agriculture, the development of the small and micro enterprises sector. We have art, culture, housing, infrastructure, digital technology transformation, and human development. So we have a focal area in which we're going to spend that money to transform the reality on the ground and to get the Tobago economy moving and to really propel us on that journey towards becoming the greatest little island on the planet.
Mr. Richards, the minister also mentioned an additional $763 million for ministries across Trinidad to assist Tobago with projects on the island. Have you had identified such projects that you want that injection for Tobago? Has the conversation already begun? What is the collaborative level at this point in time, in terms of projects being identified for that $763 million from across ministries in Trinidad for Tobago projects?
Right. So that projecting expenditure of $700+ million by ministries in ministries to be expended in Tobago is really something that we have to sit down and work out. There are some projects on the books that we'll want the ministries in Tobago to attend to. For instance, because of our water supply situation in Tobago now, there's a conversation taking place between the Tobago House Assembly and the central government about looking at the need for us to start thinking about the construction of a desalination plant. Because what is happening with climate change and our water supply, and if we are projecting to grow the tourism sector, visitors coming to the island need water. Human beings cannot survive without water. And if the supply of water now is posing a challenge for the domestic population, when we add the enchanted population on that through our tourism drive, that will create a real crisis on the nation. And if we are looking to build a Marriott hotel, another hotel, then we have to think about all those things. There's a need also for TNT to start looking at the growth in the energy sector in terms of when the economy is expanding, what kind of supply we need to service those Marriott hotels. So therefore, they may have to expand coal as the generating site by bringing in more turbine generators to pump our electricity supply. Because I don't know if you're aware, one of the cable that brought electricity to Tobago, that is down. So it's only one cable is feeding the island. So we need to expand those things. So those are the kinds of projects. There are some work in that $700+ million. The work that is required for the operationalization of the new A&R Robinson International Airport terminal is budgeted in that sum. And you heard that the minister said that that airport will be fully operational and not practically operational by the second quarter, which is in January to March of next year. So those are the areas in which that $700+ million are likely to be expended. And we, as the Tobago House of Assembly, will have to ensure that we work closely and organizedly with the ministries to ensure that those critical infrastructural needs through those state enterprises are serviced in Tobago to the benefit of Tobagonians and the development of the island.
So, Mr. Richards, from your perspective, apart from the allocation that was given to Tobago and the additional monies that the central government will be spending in Tobago as well, what is your general take on the budget for 2025-2026?
I think it was a very excellent presentation, and the proposal are transformative. You know, the general prescriptions in the budget is a fair attempt in responding to the challenges that the country faces in terms of diversification, food security, you know, and really responding to the challenges that the average man on the street faces daily, right? They spoke to the issue of crime and security. I think, in all generality, I think it is a fair attempt and a very transformative attempt to respond to our current realities, right? In the context of Tobago, I think it speaks to a recognition by the central government that Tobago must get its fair share of the national pie, and more importantly, that the development of Tobago constitute the development of Trinidad and Tobago. I think that is the kind of message, and that's my takeaway from the issue. There are other policy prescriptions that, you know, we need to have some clarity on. For instance, the requirement, the proposal to increase the retirement age to 65 by over 10 years period. I think it will go to 2038, and when we incrementally increase it, you know how that will impact those persons who are on the verge of retiring, and how that will impact young people employment opportunity. So those are things that we have to work out, and whether that policy will change how the NIS payment is made, because now it is not paid by retirement age, it is paid primarily by the number of contributions. So there are those little nimbling things that policy will have to clean up as we go along. But generally, I think I can say that I am well satisfied with the attempt that the Minister of Finance has proposed for the transformation of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in terms of our economic and financial realities.
For joining us on the Tobago Updates morning program for this very important conversation on the budget allocations for 2025-2026, and we wish you a productive day for the rest of the day. Viewers, we have to take a short break, but when we come back on the other side, we're going to continue our conversations. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Tobago, are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Cano Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The road is calling. Tobago Carnival. Neon is coming. Presenting the Mashup King himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy. The the dynamic duo, bringing pure fire to the road. CSI Khaled and Selector Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
That's essentially the main catalyst which drove Frenzy Mass. I mean, all of us would have do a lot of things together. And this was just the next step now, evolution. We lime, we party. So why don't we take all of that and bring it into Tobago, into a form of mass where we could go on Gallivant and do the same thing where other people could see what we do it on a bigger stage.
But at this point in time, I think Frenzy is important to me. So I decided to put some energies there. It's our first year Tobago Carnival. You know, we now partner with Iconic Mass, and it's our first time. So I felt like, just see, come and really stamp your name and make that presence from the mass side of things. So Vibe, Frenzy Mass, really excited for Tobago this year.
Love to see the girl bend over. Arch your back, arch your back. Start to arch it. Suck me, girl. Arch your back, arch your back.
Say 1, 2, tie up your shoe. 3, 4, bend back more. 5, 6, no time for tricks. Wine like a feeling for sticks. So I want your bend like you forget to cream your leg. Hold on by your ankle them. Not just you, girl, you want your friend and you want your friend.
When the girl and while in Frenzy Mass. Watching out there. That is what I was seeing. Rocking it slow. That is what I was seeing.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are live outside at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. And we have in studio with us this morning Miss Anne Natasha II, who is the chairman of the Tobago People's Party. And we're here to talk a little bit about politics. We're here to talk about TPP screening for the upcoming THA elections. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Tobago, to Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I want to start off with one question before we get into the screening. Do you have the election date in your back pocket?
Even if I did, I would not be at liberty to share it. But we do know generally it will range between January and March of 2026.
Yes. So we're not looking at a December elections come 2025. Oh, you can't say.
All right, all right. I like the poker faces. Like you're not gonna get that out of me and all
this morning, no.
Okay, so let's get into it. The TPP want to get into the screenings. When is it starting? How can persons put themselves up for service?
Right. Our nation process began about a week or so ago, around October the 5th, and will conclude at 11:59 p.m. on the 17th, Friday the 17th. So that's this Friday. So we are very excited to have quite a keen interest in representation through the Tobago People's Party. And we want to encourage persons, whether you're at the action group level, whether you're a member of the party, you're a Tobagoan and you've looked on, you're excited about the Tobago People's Party's philosophies and or general movement, come. We want you to either nominate, propose someone, or get yourself ready to be proposed or nominated. And after that, we will announce all of the nominees vying for the position, and we will begin our screening process.
Mm-hmm. And when you're screening, what exactly are you looking for in a candidate?
Right, so we won't go into the exact information concerning screening, but I will tell you at the proposal level, which is what is happening now, because it's a very, very critical and important process. It's a way for all of Tobago to participate as though they're consulting and they're demonstrating what kind of personality they would like to see become an assemblyman, become a potential secretary, become an assistant secretary. You're looking for somebody who cares about people, who cares about policy positions, who is disciplined, who is objective, doesn't take things too personally, who advances the cause of the Tobagonian vision, which is at this time to be the greatest little island on the planet. That is the kind of personality you're looking to nominate, somebody who has demonstrated leadership, demonstrated the capacity to organize persons. Is a team player, works along hand in hand with everyone, whether they are at the grassroots level, academia, business class, etc. Somebody who has the ability to interact with everyone on an equal footing and who wants to advance the vision of Tobago.
Ms. Second, you know, in terms of you said the nominations opened last week and it runs until this Friday. In terms of responses, what has the response been like? Have you seen new faces? What is the mix and the makeup of the persons who are either putting themselves up for nomination or being nominated and accepting this process right now? What is it? What are we looking like?
It's beautiful right now. It's very encouraging because we have a lovely mix. We have young people, we have academics, we have persons from the grassroots, we have persons who have been entrenched in the politics for some time. We have brand new faces. It is very exciting. It also suggests that a lot of thought is going through people's minds, the proposers, whether they're from the action group level, like I said, or as individuals. They're thinking it through. They're thinking who we want to represent our district, who we want to represent our island, if we have to do international discussions, regional discussions, who we would like to carry our vision forward. So a lot of thought is going into it. We are very pleased that it's very collegial, a lot of debate, a lot of banter. The caliber of persons that we have so far is just wonderful. And we do know that there are always people who hold their hand back a little bit, you know, wait it out a little, and we expect a flood of persons in the last few days.
Mm-hmm. And how soon after the nomination closes are you going to start the screening process rather, so that you can determine, you know, who the successful candidates, potential candidates would be?
Well, the party executive is going to meet because we want to support the political leader in creating that screening committee, which will participate in the interview process. But before that, we're going to ask our action groups or various party groups to sort of assess the personalities who have been brought before them. So to give us a first grading, not just the action groups, but members of the committee, the community and other committees. We want to ensure that we have the best possible representatives going forward to fight the upcoming elections. It's not going to be handed to us, so we have to have discipline and we have to be fully prepared. So I'd like to chat about how we are getting prepared.
And I was that was leading to my next question when you said we don't have it in our hand, you know, in terms of your preparedness and in terms of where you are, in terms of your confidence coming into the period where we know the election will be called, as you mentioned, somewhere between January and March. How is the TPP positioned to approach the election, the upcoming election?
Well, I'm proud of the HR development in our party so far. We have some successes behind us, but there's a saying, we are as good as our last performance. So we want to better the performance that we have done so far. It is an expensive endeavor, elections, so we have been raising funds, and month of November, we're going to declare it as our Blue Month. We're going to, the island is going to see a large increase in the number of activities, bigger activities to raise larger amounts of money. But so far, we've done raffles, we've done breakfast sales, we've done lunch sales, etc. And so on. Apart from the fundraising, we've been doing a lot of training. We know that elections are won on election day, so the election day machinery preparation is critical to success. Today, I'll be meeting with all of the executive members of all of our action groups to do a final large meeting before we move on to the fine-tuning of our election day machinery. So we're looking very good at this point in time. I'm pleased with the progress and the improvements. I'm pleased with, we've rolled out our code of conduct. I'm pleased with that response among the people, because we want to have a position where everybody who comes to vie for a position within our party understands the importance of discipline and respect of our party executive, so that we don't have any runaway horses, any individual runaway horses. Everybody understands that we are an organized and well-structured movement.
You know, you mentioned that you're conducting training as well. What are some of the areas you're providing training for your nominees and potential candidates?
Right. So even before that, those people who will support the nominees and potential candidates, even after victory at all districts, we have training in terms of fundraising and financial management, because you have to know how to manage your resources. We have asset management as well. We have leadership training. You have to know different styles of leadership and how to switch from one to the other. Conflict resolution and conflict management, team building exercises, knowing how to get past issues, because we are human beings and you may be offended. It's the election process is a very rigorous one. Sometimes people fall out and so on, entire communities fall out. So you have to be able to bounce back quickly and get back on an even keel, so that you don't victimize people, you don't punish people and so on, with the power that you inherit. We've trained people in terms of collective responsibility, knowing that you have to look beyond. We are very clannish people in Tobago. So you have to look beyond your immediate family to fill positions and to do things like that. You have to look at persons who have done the work. You have to be able to keep records well. You know, we look at recruitment, the importance of marketing our party's position, and Tobago, what is in best interest of Tobago, and working together with dignitaries from other cultures, being culturally competent and culturally responsive. So understanding about other people, so that we won't shame people when we go abroad to participate in activities.
You seem to have a comprehensive, holistic training regimen going on.
Yes.
But I want to just talk back a little bit to the nominations, and in terms of the interest of those who are currently incumbents in vying for positions again. You've seen that a high level of interest in those incumbents returning for another term in service?
Well, they've all the seats would have been vacant, right? And everybody has put their hat back into the ring. And there are many competitors for all of those positions. So everybody has put their hat back in the ring, the incumbent, and there are many viable and lucrative and good and effective persons who will compete for every single seat.
So is it safe to say that you believe that you are quite confident in your approach and your preparedness for the upcoming THA election, which we do not have the date for officially yet.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. We know that the work is difficult. We are up to the task because we invested the time, the effort, and the resources to make sure that we do the right thing. We understand the bigger responsibility, which is caring for Tobago. We do have the blessing of having received 6.3% for the first time in our history as a Tobago House of Assembly, and so we have to be responsible. We have to have management as a key component of how we are going to deal with this new influx of resources, and we have to enter into the situation with a very disciplined kind of approach to it.
So I know that your political opponents, they did their screenings already. They may have their full slate already prepared. And earlier this year, we saw a bit of a delay in the TPP announcing the candidates for the general elections. I don't know if Tobagonians want to be in that kind of suspense this time around. So can we expect to have a release of the slate of candidates maybe sometime in December, November? Well, what is it looking like?
That is going to be part of the strategic movement of the party. We don't just run out and just do what others are doing. We examine the landscape and we do a lot of research, a lot of polling and so on. So the decisions we take are based on research and evidence. So you will have the opportunity to know fairly early who will be running where, right? And you will see evidence that we are getting ready. You will see campaign offices opening soon. Again, I said we're going to be doing a lot of fundraising activities. So you're going to know very soon.
You mentioned that the party does a bit of polling. In those polls, what is the position like in the communities with the party? Is the party in a strong position across the island? You have a bit of work to do in catching up, public opening the gap somewhere. I mean, what does it look like right now?
It looks very encouraging, but our aim is always A++. So we want everybody to appreciate the value of the philosophy behind the Tobago People's Party. We want everybody to the pathways that we want to carve to help us to achieve the status of being the greatest little island on the planet. So we want more. We want more from Charlottesville all the way down to Crown Point. We want persons, I'm sure that persons are reflecting now upon the choices that were made on the other side, like the Red Party, and they're probably thinking that this is a good home for them to come now. So they can come.
You know, you mentioned A++ and that you want every single person to have an appreciation for the work that you are doing. But that is going to be a never-ending job because it's not possible, I don't think, to have every single person on board. So how committed and determined is the TPP to ensure that they continue working assiduously to ensure that they can impact, influence, convince persons that you are the best party and you are the best option and that you are providing the level of service that will impact the lives of Tobagonians in a positive way? Because let's be real, there are people who will not agree with, people who will not buy into, and people who will have grievances. How are you going to shift their mindset? How are you going to convince them that perhaps I should give them a chance?
Well, visioning is an eternal quest. You continue to try to pursue our vision. The first thing we have to do is be realistic and listen. We are very open to hearing responses. You would see our members from day one have been on Facebook, all different forms of social media. They say when they're happy, they say when they're unhappy, and so on. So we're very democratic, and we do have a good process for you to communicate. We want that to permeate from all of the divisions, the village councils, the churches, the NGOs. We want, especially now that we have this large amount of money coming towards us, we want everybody's voice to be heard. You will go with the consensus, you will go with the larger direction once everybody agrees. But at the end of the day, the structure of our THA allows an executive council with only 9 persons. Those 9 persons have to come from a rigorously organized system where we have everybody's voice is valuable, and that is what we're investing in. So even if, remember, we are a democracy, so you can vote accordingly.
Yes.
But like I said, the vision is to attract more and more and to increase the population of persons who understand and agree with our direction.
All right. Well, we wish you the successes that you're hoping for as you prepare for the screening process. The nomination continues up until Friday midnight. So for those of you who are members of the TPP and you are hoping to put yourself forward for service, now is the best time to ensure you get your name in there before they head to the screening process. All the very best to you and your party as you continue to work towards your mandates.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Anne Natasha Second. She is the chairman of the Tobago People's Party, talking about nominations, screening, and preparations for the upcoming THA election. So look out for that date that will be revealed at some point. But in the meantime, they continue to prepare along with all the other parties on the island of Tobago who are preparing for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly elections. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago. And as we go, we invite you to stay with us. And as you stay, of course, we want you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
The Tobago Day Awards 2025, celebrating excellence, dedication, and the people and organizations making a lasting impact on our island and its diaspora. From the Medal of Honor to the Diaspora Award, this is your chance to nominate those whose service, leadership, and achievements deserve the spotlight. Nominations close on September 30th, 2025. And remember, only online submissions will be accepted. Visit www.tha.gov.tt to submit your nomination today. Let's celebrate our Tobago Trailblazers together.
The Health Hygiene Lounge is a family-friendly space designed to support the health and dignity of women and families. It features two main rooms. The first is the Menstrual Health Room, an educational and service-oriented space that promotes menstrual health, equity, and empowerment. The second is the Breastfeeding Room, a private, comfortable environment for nursing mothers. Together, these rooms reflect our commitment to maternal and child health.
I am thankful that this facility is now available. It really does provide a space for breastfeeding mothers to come here, whether with baby or just to pump during the workday and do that in comfort. It is an essential need, and just having this space makes it so much easier and provides that peace of mind.
I think this hygiene lounge is a step in the right direction. I think for a very long time, women have not had the opportunity to have a space that's private to deal with issues of menstruation or breastfeeding. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and I really think that is something that should be adopted across the board through different divisions and private sector throughout the island.
This space is more than just four walls. It is a place of dignity. It is a safe space to speak, to learn, to advocate. It represents a commitment to stand in the gap for those who are too often unseen. Together, we can localize our efforts, streamline our objectives, and align our outcomes. By doing so, we move beyond temporary relief and towards a comprehensive solution that puts an end to stereotype, miseducation, and period poverty once and for all.
This is a great opportunity for us to show that we truly understand the needs of our growing families, and we are able to provide the kind of comfort that would make them happier.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
The Tobago Day Awards 2025 are here. Celebrating excellence, dedication, and the people and organizations making a lasting impact on our island and its diaspora. From the Medal of Honor to the Diaspora Award, this is your chance to nominate those whose service, leadership, and achievements deserve the spotlight. Nominations close on September 30th, 2025. And remember, only online submissions will be accepted. Visit www.tha.gov.tt to submit your nomination today. Let's celebrate our Tobago Trailblazers together.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Feel like a tsunami. I was watching a bomber and the bomber was watching me. Get a bomber so big, get a bomber so mad. I was so well done. Let me put in my plan. She said, but you's a pirate. I watch it and I say, she threw it back, I say, I buy the thing, she said, oh my God. Shake it, shake it, shake it, roll it, roll it, roll it, back it, back it, back it, Tommy, shake it, yeah, shake it.
Beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago.
We continue coming to you live from the Magdalena Grand Resort here in Tobago. Now this morning, as I begin my conversation, I have the privilege of sitting and chatting with Mr. Alan Stewart, who is the director of TEMA Tobago. Good morning, Mr. Stewart, and welcome.
Good morning, ma'am, and welcome. Good morning, all of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, this morning we're talking about preparedness for the Tobago Carnival, which we can say is just a few days away. Tell us a bit about what that preparation looks like from the agency.
It's one of the years where I think that we are quite ready in terms of preparation. It is our observation that the Tobago public has become used to TEMA's involvement in these festivities, and especially Carnival. It dates back to 2005. We have recognized in this iteration of the Carnival, this being the fourth year, we observe that the standard seems to be Bago Carnival seems as though it's bursting at all the seams, and therefore it heightened our level of game, to our preparedness, and our ability to coordinate as required with among our stakeholders. So once again, we will be having the joint command post in Scarborough, and also that will be backed up by a venue operations center at the Shore Park Cultural Complex.
Right, and we've seen that as the festival develops, there are more and more activities coming on board.
That's
Not just for the actual days of the Carnival, the Juve, and the mass display, but those fetes leading up to the actual event. You know, from the data that you've gathered, where are the areas where particular attention has to be placed and resources placed?
Yeah, I think when you do the risk assessment of Carnival, it poses certain dilemma where you want to make sure that your focus is not too narrowed, and therefore, as you rightly said, there are other interests, they are supporting fetes, things like that, and also there is a lot of consumption of alcoholism, so the roadway and the road network and the ability to make problems for yourself in terms of sometimes you're driving on the roadway, you will see more chaos on the road. So these are some of the emergent factors as a result of these type of festivities. So in our planning, we look at those things. There is also preparations goes just beyond what they do for the mass tent and the preparation going along. The infrastructure, ensuring that overhead lines are well placed where they need to go. So it means that we have been in very deep conversation with the utilities, even the division of public utilities, or should I say works, to make it simple, the division of infrastructure. We have been talking with them over the years, and we continue to do so, where we recognize the importance of ensuring that the road is safe to walk in Carnival Day. Therefore, you want to make sure that the surfaces are smooth. They have started their work quite well, and Gardenside Street, I think it's completed at this stage, and I think there are just a few little touches on the coming down along the Esplanade, and they have done some major work in that regard. But I think it will be remiss of me if I did not point out to the major users, especially the trucks, that we have been having conversation with the licensing authority, and they are doing their role to make sure that trucks that are carrying music trucks, large costumes, things like that, that they adhere to certain requirements. You know, one of the things they told me sometime in one of these meetings, they said, Mr. Stewart, the road is growing. You know, every time you pave the road, they are supposed to go 13 feet between the utility lines and also the base of the floor of the truck itself, yeah, from the wheels go up to the top. And they said, well, you know, the road is growing. Every time they pave the road, they reduce the height between the utility lines. So it's something that we looked at, you know, and it's something that I know the division will take into consideration as to how we do resurfacing. You know, there are techniques that can be used that you can sustain instead of billing, you keep it to a certain level. That being said, the other thing is the preparations in terms of meetings, ensuring that health and safety becomes part of an important element of it. As people revel, there will be risk of injuries, there will be risk of other medical issues that may pop up. You know, sometimes around this time, we have our own history in terms of medical history, and then therefore one did not take their medication or clashes with the alcohol consumption, things like that.
Right, and where can persons look forward to actually seeing TIMA at these events? Would it be that you would have a truck or a tent at the different events and different locations where persons can access your services if there are emergencies being or present at these events?
I think you're hinting to something that we need to define our estate. We are not in everybody's fete. It's a national event, or it's a Tobago event sponsored by the Tobago House of Assembly, and therefore that is our remit. If somebody needs the services of TIMA, then they write, and according to how it's the approach or the bargain, we definitely will make a determination as to whether it's something that we should get involved in. But your private event, we expect persons to have their contingency plans, do the necessaries, the regulatory regulation as to how do you obtain a permit to carry out a FET, things like that. You go through those stages, and the goal commander, they have been doing a fantastic job where that is concerned. As it relates to the joint command operation, it consists of major players, for example, law enforcement, from the wide angle of it, and also health. There are two areas of health that is very important to this. One is public health issues, for example, food consumption, food sales, food safety. And there is the other aspect of injuries that may occur. And therefore, we will be installing an advanced medical post within it. The Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association have been a real player in this. It's one of the areas that you will find a number of doctors and also medical personnel that ensure that from midnight on Friday throughout Juve and for the rest of Carnival until it comes to an end, the medical post will be there. And we will also try to facilitate, I always make the joke that the children are never lost. We get the children and the parents are lost. So, they normally look at it as a lost and found area for children. But we really appreciate that. We really want to encourage that, we up our game, especially with the modernization of things where you can place something in the child's pocket, that will allow whoever they run into, a law enforcement officer, best bet. So you guide them along those things, know exactly if you misplace mom or dad, you go to a law enforcement officer and report, and they will take care of you, bring you to the command area, where sometimes the areas of the social services and other aspect of health sometimes provide that type of covering, and the police also does that as well.
Excellent.
So,
Even as we wrap up our discussion this morning, what do you want to say to the public as it pertains to, staying safe during this time, tapping into the resources of TEMA and your preparedness to handle what is approaching?
Yeah, maybe just good for me to say all things in moderation. A friend of mine used to tell me that a lot. So all things in moderation, go out and have yourself a wonderful time. Make sure that you understand that there's life after the fact. Make sure that, you leave your home secured, your properties secure, cars. Make sure that you park them in a lit area. Make sure that you don't leave exposed devices that one may attract. There are different people out there. You are enjoying yourself, and the spranger want to enjoy himself as well. So he will be attracted to whatever make sure that you unplug your devices. You don't hurry to get to the FET. You leave the iron on, things like, although the irons are very smart today, but you want to make sure that your mind is comfortable when carrying out those, you're having a frolic, so therefore it's very important that, we encourage and ensure that Tobago remain the safest space. The last Carnival for the year in the region, we make it the best. He said that we leave the last for best.
The best for last.
No, you leave the last for best.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations after this. See you soon.
Good morning, Tobago.
The road is calling. Tobago Carnival. Neon is coming. Presenting the mashup king himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy Boy. The dynamic duo bringing pure fire to the road, CSI Khaled and Selecta Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello.
Nirvana, Tobago's premier all-inclusive event for Carnival 2025.
About the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and make
Join us for a night of elegance, energy, and unmatched vibes at Fête AMPLIA. Come dressed in your finest island chic white attire and indulge in a premium carnival experience like no other. Experience live performances by Nadia Batson and Sass, Patrice Roberts and the 18 Band, Charles Marshall, Lyrical, Ramonapi, Juby, and many more. Get your tickets now at islandetickets.com. Physical tickets available in Trinidad at SIP on the Avenue, Shoaholic, Trin City Mall, Port of Spain, and Center City Mall. Happy's Waterhole, Pleasantville, Avala, Hotland Plaza, in Tobago, Barcode Scarborough, Deltec Distributors, Argyle, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Jade Monkey Crown Point, Shoaholics Lowland, and any committee member. Immerse, illuminate, indulge. Saturday 25th October 2025 from 5 p.m. at the magnificent Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Dress code Island Chic, all white. Nirvana. Fête AMPLIA, where luxury meets rhythm and elegance meets euphoria. Don't just attend, arrive in style.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Good morning, Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Remember, guys, we are here live coming to you from the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. Now, this morning, as we continue our conversation, I have the privilege of sitting here this morning and chatting with Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus, who is the leader, the political leader that is of the IDA. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, and the rest of your listening and viewing audience.
Right. It's a privilege to have you here with us this morning to chat a bit, post-budget discussions. We had some conversations last night, initial reactions, but for some persons, they had the ability to sleep on it, right? And for some, the excitement that was yesterday has died down, or they've gotten even more excited. For the Secretary of Finance, she said that this is exciting times ahead for Tobago in, its THA's ability to now actually get what it has requested and to see how that shapes the development pathway for the island. What are your initial responses on the overall budget?
Okay, so the overall budget is going to be harsh on the people of Trinidad and Tobago because you have the fact that it was great. He opened with, okay, we're giving $1 off of the pump, right? How many people is that going to affect? It's only on super. What about those who are having diesel? We forget about the premium, but what about those who are having diesel? How many people will it affect? Will the taxi driver now decrease his cost and pass it on to the consumer? Or, those people who do transportation services, will they be passing it on to the consumer? I don't think that it will. So the trickle-down effect of that, we may not see to the man on the ground who really needs the relief right now. We then had the landlord levy, and I'm calling it a levy, yeah, where you have to pay $2,500 a year, and also you will be given a percentage of the monies that you're gaining as a landlord. You ask yourself, is that landlord just going to say, okay, let me just pay everything? or will they be passing it on to their tenants? Okay, so that is what we see there. So they'll pass it on to the tenants. Additionally, if you have somebody renting and they have a little clothing store, they will now pass that on to the clothing store. So again, you see where
you mean with the sales tax?
With the sales, where the consumer is the one eventually who's going to feel the brunt of it. You then had the increase in customs duties, so you're going to have that in effect. There's another one that they put in. Oh, the banks, yes. So the banks, they are having their they are also being levied on. Well, will the banks just hold that, or will they pass it on to the customer?
Right.
And therefore, when you go to the grocery store, you may realize there's a rise in the price of groceries because, again, it's always being passed on to the consumer. So in essence, your boss says, well, I'm going to give you a raise, yeah? And he gives you a raise, you get all excited, and on your way home, you stop to take a drink, and you realize the drink is twice the amount. You say, well, let me smoke instead. It's now twice the amount. And then you say, well, let me forget that. And you reach home, and the landlord's saying to you, well, I'm sorry, but I just increase your rent. So you have a choice whether you take the increased rent or you leave my place.
Right. And let's zone in a bit into the increased tax on a number of these items, such as the rum, beer, and tobacco. Do you think this is a step in the right direction to reduce alcohol and tobacco consumption in Trinidad and Tobago? Statistics have shown that consumption levels have been extremely high. So do you think that this is a step in the right direction to kind of reduce our overall consumption?
It does assist, but we have to do way more than that, because those who can afford will continue to do it. Yes? And we see that the real people on the grassroots who actually go and drink, they don't have cars. They are not the ones who are driving drunk. Yeah? And so you ask yourself, would those who have the cars will still have the affordability to do it? So there has to be much more being done than just increasing the cost. I have no problem with increasing the cost. It's just there's so many other things. If they had just increased the cost of that alone, that would be fine. But there's so many other things that are being taxed around that you are stressing the people. So when you stress persons in other areas, they're going to find the money to go and drink and smoke, because that's how they know to deal with their stress.
Understood. And we heard, finally we've gotten a definite period and when we can see the opening of the new terminal at the ENR Robinson International Airport here in Tobago. We heard about, possible increase in direct flights between the U.S. and Tobago. Do you think that sufficient emphasis is being placed on the tourism product that Tobago has, particularly in this new budget?
The tourism product in Tobago has to drastically change, because it is not now that the tourism product has been failing us in Tobago. Yeah. So at some point you have to say, well, this is not working. We really have to rethink what we're doing for tourism, what works and what really doesn't work. And you have to re-engineer it from that, because just saying that you will have extra flights does not guarantee that you have the people coming, because what are you attracting them to see? Sun, sand, and sea? That alone is not enough. Additionally, is Caribbean Islands, Caribbean Airlines, are they going to be changing their modus operandi in terms of servicing Tobago? And if they are going to do that, why can't they do it from now? So I'm really challenged with having confidence in our domestic flights, being able to give to alleviate the challenges that we have in Tobago, and just bringing in the additional international flights. I think we need a whole new look at the tourism model and be able to attract the people. But just having a new airport and new flights does not really guarantee, that people will be coming in droves, because they're not coming to see a new airport.
Understood. Why do you think it took so long for Tobago to finally get to the closest point to what they have requested in the national budget?
Well, let's look at it. I mean, the current administration actually decreased their ask. Yeah? So they decreased their ask. If you look at in previous years, they decreased how much they were asking for. And you ask yourself, can the 5% really do anything for Tobago's development? Yes? And you have to look at it in terms of 2.7, plus they're giving you in recurrent, but you're still only getting a 200 million, 201 million, 201.5 in the development budget. And so clearly the government is saying, I am willing to give you money just to spend on, hiring people and doing those things, but I don't think you're serious enough about development to give you additional development money. Because remember, they asked for $1 billion in the development fund, and they only got 200. Yeah? And that is where Tobago really needs the money, in our development fund, to be able to invest in things that can start bringing us returns on investment, items that are revenue generating. And so we don't have that. We have not been given that, but you've been given it in the recurrent budget.
Right. Do you think that this allocation that's a bit closer to the request, do you think it reduces the excuse of not having sufficient funds to pay outstanding contractors and do a number of things that the THA has not been able to do for a long time?
Well, I certainly hope that they could settle all their bills. The rent that is due to persons who would have given up their homes as safe homes for the vulnerable. And there's a social program for the vulnerable, where if you lost your house or, fire or got displaced, that teacher will put you in a home and they will pay for you for 3 to 6 months until you could get back on your feet. A lot of those persons have not been paid. Those landlords have not been paid. So I certainly hope that is one area that they can quickly settle. So I don't know with the contractors, whether the contractors are tied to the development fund, yes, to be paid off with, or whether they can, exercise it somehow and paid off through the recurrent. So we'd have to look at how they were engaged in the past. But certainly they should have no trouble with everyone who calls. They can't say anymore, well, we don't have the money, because we have the money. Although I heard last night one of their own, Gary Nelson, who is quite versed in terms of administration. He used to work in the accounts as part of CAST, and he said allocation is very different from releases. Mm-hmm. So we could say we want to give you all the money in the world, but when it comes down to it, would that money be released?
Understood. Person said that it could not be done, the 10% recommendation for public servants. But we saw that recommendation being put forward after instruction from the Prime Minister. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know. We still left to be seen how that is being rolled out, because it didn't say absolutely the 10%. They said we're still talking to the banks. What does that mean? Are you actually getting 10%? Are you getting a bond? That part is still unclear. Yes, we hear the intent, but it's not clear the pathway that it's being taken. And then with the 10%, you have, an increased NIS subvention that you now have to give into the pool of resources, and also working longer. So it's a package that we have to see how it unravels.
Right. Was there anything in this budget presentation that was exciting to you, that you look forward to seeing how it unfolds?
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how they unfold with these supposed hotels that they're supporting to see them to completion. Because yes, whilst we have some of the rooms stuck on the island, and we definitely need to go the way of Airbnb, because we have so many guest houses and persons opening up their homes now to guests, that would be an interesting to see how that really unfolds. Again, it was not a clear path that we are going to support, but there was some hint that they're going to do that. So let us see how it happens, because we have seen too many hotels started and have become eyesores on the island. And therefore, if the government is willing to assist them to completion, then we wait to see it happen. But like I said, there are too many hotels that have been started, and then halfway through, it's just left like an eyesore for the island. And I don't know what we can do in terms of a policy for those things, to be changed. I know that, right there on Grange, as you pass, there's one on the right. There was another one in Lambo as you're going along the beach. There's so many of them. And it's quite unfortunate because it does not help with the scenery for Tobago.
Understood. And even as we wrap up our discussion this morning, are there any things that you want to see as it pertains to how this current administration at the THE actualizes this budget for Tobago and Tobago's development?
Well, I was a bit disappointed when they read Tobago's section, where they truly did not give a full picture of Tobago's performance, just as they did, in their preamble. You give a performance rating for the Tobago House of Assembly, state what they would have completed with their monies or whatever, some of their achievements. And because you are the Minister of Finance for Trinidad and Tobago, okay? And so therefore, to lay it out for the country, this is a national budget. This is a time for us to, get on display as Tobago. So you didn't lay that out, and therefore you just said, well, this is what Tobago is getting and what they're going to do. And what is not clear is that there's some strategic plan that is mentioned from 2025 to 2045. And I've been asking around key stakeholders, and no one has been involved in contributing to the plan or even seeing the plan. It's just hearing about this plan in secrecy. And that does not augur well for the rollout of the plan. Because in order for a plan like that to be effective, all hands must be on deck. It cannot just be a THA rolling out a plan. That is not going to go anywhere for our development, and therefore it has to be working together. Also, we need to understand that national policies affect Tobago. Dismantling of CPEP and URP are national policies, and we will see that roll out after the election. It will be dismantled in Tobago after the election, unless you have a strong administration that will stand up and say, absolutely not. And there has to be some kind of transition process. But you see where the minister was very clear that this is national policy. They're dismantling CPEP and URP and converting it to something else. They haven't said what yet. They haven't come up with anything. But in Trinidad, you can afford that shock to your economy. In Tobago, you cannot afford that shock to the economy. And in fact, that is what started the decline of the Tobago economy when the administration came in 4 years ago and they sent home all of those CPEP and URP workers initially before the rehiring. That started the decline in the Tobago economy, the hardship on people, and therefore we cannot afford that in Tobago without having a smooth transition as to, how do we engage people adequately in the Tobago space.
Understood. We want to thank you so much for being here this morning and sharing those perspectives on the budget presentation that was made yesterday in the Parliament. And guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denial.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time.
This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Good morning, Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now you are still joining us live from the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. Now this morning I continue my conversations and I'm sitting here as we talk all about what's happening for World Food Day. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of chatting with Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton, who is also the Secretary for Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying to remember you. I forget your name. Good morning, Tobago. How can I forget the lovely Chanel?
Right, but this is your fourth World Food Day as Secretary?
Yes, definitely it's the fourth, yeah.
Wow, how does it feel?
I'm excited. I'm always excited about events. That's the truth.
Right, and how has it evolved from year one of you sitting in the chair till now? You know, how has the festival expanded?
Well, in terms of diversification, you know, you'd always have vendors coming out to World Food Day, but now we have community development, the division on board. We have a lot more stakeholders on board, new associations, creativity, you know, so I'm excited, you know, as to the prospects into the future, you know, as we continue to collaborate with different organizations across the space.
Right, and tomorrow is when the entire exhibit is kicked off at the Shore Park Food Hub.
Correct.
And this is something that we look forward to all year round. You know, it's that big ticket item in Tobago. It's one of those big activities, just like the Heritage Festival, that persons look forward to World Food Day. All the schools come out, all the organizations come out. You know, you even get a little time off, maybe an hour or so from work to go down to the World Food Day celebration, you know, get a few things and come back. You know, my favorite day, I always tell you, is the second day, because I always come and I buy all the plants. Like, I turn my house into a total jungle because I love buying plants at World Food Day.
Well, make sure you come to the horticulture show,
Yes.
right? Because we're going to specifically focus on plants.
Right.
But for World Food Day, you'll have more food
Yes.
than plants. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know day 2, I always get all
Yes.
the plants at a great price, like an
So you
excellent
get a great
price.
pass at the price at the horticulture show as well.
Yes, and so let's talk about the day 1,
Yes.
you know, of World Food Day. What can persons look forward to? Because you told me come on day 1 as well. Day 1, all the
Yes.
action kicks off. So
Yes.
tell us about that.
Now, day 1, of course, you'll get to see the presentation from the different stakeholders as well as within the division. So, you know, the officers, they work hard during the year. So a lot of them decided that they will come out and show what they do, showcase what they do. So, for example, Tobagonians are accustomed to that lovely ham that marketing would have been doing
Yeah.
for so many years. So now you'll be able to get lamb ham, chicken ham, right? So all sorts of hams at World Food Day. Right, and of course, if you come the second day, you ain't gonna get no ham. So you have to come the first day because everybody going to buy out everything and sample out everything. Right, so please come on the first day. The first day, you're gonna have a lot of immersive experiences. You'll get to dance the cocoa, see how it is prepped. Right, you're gonna see how cassava bread, you know, how we usually make it in Tobago. You're gonna get to extract honey and to taste the Tobago honey, right, a superior quality. Right, so we're going to have a lot, you know, of immersive experiences. So you need to come out and enjoy what we have to offer. But the farmers will be there. You'll have demonstrations from the fisher folk. You'll have the Livestock Association as well as, you know, our in-house team. So come out and, you know, there'll be a kids zone. You'll get the petting zoo. There's so many
Right.
things happening all at once.
Right. And so tell us about the timing. When does the exhibition start and when does it end? Because if I have to go pick up my son after school so he
Yeah.
can come and experience
Yes.
everything, you know, how does that flow into everything? What time is the actual show
Going
where
to start?
you get the entertainment
So,
and everything?
if you come in the morning around 8 to 10, right, you'll get to see everybody set up, right? So you will get something when you come there. But the actual show itself would start at 3 p.m. in the afternoon,
Okay.
right? Where you'll see, you know, a lot more activities, festivities and all of that incorporated into the World Food Day. So that's why I said
Would
to
I
make sure
still
to
be able to
come.
get ham by 3 o'clock in the evening?
Well, that's the thing. Now, I put up on Facebook and on the platforms, you see the officers all through the weekend working hard to do all sorts of pork ham, chicken ham, lamb ham, all kind of ham.
I need to try that lamb ham.
So here now, you know if you come on day 2, I don't know what you're going to get. Right? So you need to come on day 1 because the departments, most of them, immersive experiences. Immersive not only to eat it, you're going to have some virtual reality going on. So you're going to get to see what happens when you walk into an abattoir, right? You get to see what some of the companies, you know, virtual reality, we're going to have some things, you know, interesting things for children to
incorporating that new
experience.
technology into-
So you no longer have to walk into the abattoir to see what happens. You come in and you get to see everything virtually. You get to see some virtual reality through you get to look at, you know, microscopic organisms. And so we're trying to make it educational as well. Right? So come on the first day, you wouldn't regret it.
Right. And then it's a huge career opportunity as well for the young persons, particularly students, to see all the different areas that they could possibly get into as it pertains to agriculture. You know, it's not just about being a farmer or being a scientist, but there are a number of things in between. You know, tell us about that particular area of opening the minds of our youth to see what the potentials are as it pertains to the direction that they can take their future in.
So we have been doing that even before World Food Day, when you saw the officers taking the tractors and the different types of animals that we have on the farms. And that is to orient young children. We have to start from small to show them the prospects of agriculture. Right? So you will also have those things happening at World Food Day. You'll get to see not only the division, but you'll see entrepreneurs, you know, showing you how the different equipment in agriculture operate, right? You're going to get to see persons who contribute in terms of investment. So UTT, all the ADB, you know, and you could ask questions. For example, Republic Bank, they have a remarkable opportunity there for farmers or anybody into the craft, right? That they can access up to $400,000 unsecured loan, and all you have to do is demonstrate that you are into the trade for 2 years, yeah? right? And the Agritech Summit promises to show you how, basic record keeping can give you access to so many
All right.
opportunities.
When is the Agritech Summit taking place?
From the 25th to the 27th of November at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, and it ends at the Hope Farm demonstration station, right, where we're going to have a grand exhibit. Hope Farm is usually grand for some reason. I don't know if it's the eggs or the animals, I don't know what, but it's huge, right? Just like the grand exhibit.
Excellent, excellent. But even as we round up our discussion, World Food Day has now moved from a 2-day celebration to an entire rollout of festivities. Just remind persons of what's happening. We have the exhibition that's happening tomorrow, inform them of the other things that are happening. We know that there's a Blue Food Festival that's coming up.
Blue Food is on the 19th of, right into the weekend. We have the month of October is exciting.
Right.
And I want you to look at the calendars. We have some huge calendars on the highway just to remind you of those dates. And the reason why we have that extended amount of activities is just to show Tobagonians what the potential of the industry, of the sector, right? There is no way that you can adequately feature what fishery is doing, farmers doing, agro-processors doing on just one single day. And also the theme for this year, hand in hand for better food and a better future. And we talk about collaborating with stakeholders. And that is what we have been doing. You had a lovely Lamb Fest some Sundays ago. And we collaborated with the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, right? And we're trying to build an industry, build the sector, right? The small ruminant sector. So we're partnering with different associations and rolling out a lot of activities to showcase the potential of agriculture on the island, right? We had to move its contribution from the low 1% it contributing, So in order to do that, you have to make agriculture sexy and exciting and tech-driven, right? To attract the youth. And that's why we're focusing on youth and equity this year, because we have to, ensure continuity in the sector.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much for being here this morning. And even as we close, just remind persons where they can go to get more information as it pertains to all the activities that are happening, and then remind them why they cannot miss the exhibition that's happening tomorrow and Thursday.
All right. You can go on the divisions page, the Division of Food Security. It's long, but once you type in the Division of Food Security, it will pop up, right? And you will see a list of all the activities there, all right? But I am hoping to see you this Wednesday, this Wednesday.
Tomorrow,
on the 15th,
Wednesday.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, come out. I want you to come and taste marketing ham. It's a long time, all you taste it. Come out and taste marketing ham. I want you all to come out and see what the Division of Food Security has been doing for the entire year in one spot, at the Shore Park Food Hub.
Excellent. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and be sure to book your appointment to get out and get to World Food Day, whether it's, definitely you got to be there tomorrow, because definitely that's when all the goodies are going to be available, and you don't want to wait until everything is done. So you take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Good morning, Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, this morning we continue our conversations. And remember, we are coming to you live this morning from the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort here in Tobago. And this morning we're talking all about what's being offered at the Magdalena and how you can benefit from all their carnival specials. I'm chatting this morning with Miss Melanie Forbes, who is the sales coordinator here at the hotel. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning to your viewers. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Now, exciting things are happening here at the Magdalena Grand. And for persons who are looking for that relaxing resort stay, whether they're coming into Tobago or looking for a staycation, or just looking for a way to enjoy the carnival season just as much as the tourists enjoy, they can come down to the Magdalena and have a great time, whether it be for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or booking one of your day passes during this season. Tell us a bit about what persons can expect to benefit from what the Magdalena Grand is offering.
Okay, well, it's an exciting time right now in Tobago as we're gearing up for Carnival. And to commemorate Tobago Carnival, Magdalena Grand is having a countdown to Carnival flash sale. So it's on the all-inclusive package. It's 20% off. So you get the all-inclusive package for only $2,000, and that is per person, and it includes all well-branded drinks, that's alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, as well as all meals. So you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks included as well. You also have access to all our facilities and amenities, as well as the activities that we have here at the resorts.
Wow, excellent. And you know, persons are always traveling and looking for that all-inclusive experience, right? But you can get that experience right here in Tobago for only $2,000 per night per person.
It's double occupancy, actually.
Double occupancy for $2,000.
Yes.
So you split that in half, that's $1,000 a night.
Yes.
Per person. It doesn't get any better than that. Drinks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yes.
Oh man. Oh man, that's it. You don't have to tell me twice. So tell us a bit about how persons can, book this if they are interested.
If you're interested, you could give us a call. The numbers are 290-9438, or you can send us a WhatsApp to book at 290-9015, or you can send us an email at reservations@magdalenagrand.com.
Right. And for the persons who are having a birthday around this time, this is really your time, right?
Yes.
Because when you think about how much you would pay for a trip to experience the same, you're probably going to pay triple the cost, right? And you get to be right here in Tobago. You get to be beachfront, experience luxury. You wake up in front of the water. So you have an oceanfront room, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and drinks in between.
Yes.
It doesn't even get any better than that. You also have access to the pool, the gym, and the sauna.
Yes.
And you get a bike as well. So if you're like me and you're into that active lifestyle, you want to get, you burn some calories, you go to the gym, or you even get a bike where you can ride around the entire property. Tell us a bit.
And that is a highlight of all the activities that we offer here. Also, I want to mention one of the highlights of the Tobago plantation is the scenic mangrove boardwalk. We know that it was down for a while, but they recently renovated it. So it's open to the public, and it is something that our guests can go and experience. And it really does add to the experience when you stay here at the Magdalena Grand.
Excellent. So you jump on a bike straight from the lobby and you head all over the property. There's no restriction. You can ride all the way down to the boardwalk, come back, have a refreshing drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. You can have one of those really nice virgin cocktails. So it's really an event for the entire family. Let's talk about romantic staycation for couples, right? You haven't done something in a long time. He hasn't taken you on a date in a long time. This is your opportunity to get it together real quick right here at the Magdalena Grand Hotel. And tell us a bit about the day passes.
Ooh, so we have a special on day passes. It's happening on Thursday, 16th and 17th. It's 8:04. It allows you access to all the facilities, all the amenities, well-branded drinks, unlimited from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on the 16th and 17th, what makes this day pass special is that we're doing a special poolside barbecue lunch. It will feature our signature Tobago Carnival mocktail, which is Ocean Blues. And if you don't want to indulge in the day pass, you could come and enjoy the poolside barbecue for only $279, tax inclusive, with a complimentary mocktail.
Excellent. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. And for the persons who are located on the eastern side of the island during carnival time, you want to stay down on the western end of the island, but you want to do so in luxury, partner with a friend and you guys, put together and come and stay at the Magdalena. It's easy access to all the events. And guess what? Free shuttles. Free shuttles to Pigeon Point. Tell us a bit about that.
We offer free shuttle to Pigeon Point Beach to our guests. The shuttles is on Sunday, Mondays, and Wednesdays. So the shuttle will take you there and it will bring you back.
experience luxury right here, be treated as the kings and queens that you are.
Yes.
All right. So it's really exciting times, as you said, Tobago Carnival here at the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. It's really your opportunity, especially if you're coming to Tobago and having that vacation, even though you may be staying with family or you may already have booked a property that you're staying at. It's important to have a couple of days of just being treated.
Yes.
You know, treat yourself. Treat yourself. And that would mean that you either take the day pass here at the Magdalena or you get the all-inclusive stay, maybe just one night or 2 nights where you just get treated. You don't have to worry about food or drinks for those 2 days. And if you really are a traveler at heart or someone who has traveled, you know that if you were to factor in lunch, breakfast, dinner, drinks, activities for 1 day on a trip, it would surpass $1,050.
Yeah, for sure.
It will greatly surpass that. So this is what we call a seal of a deal. So this is your time to call the Magdalena Grand Hotel, email them at reservations@Magdalena Grand, right?
Yes, reservation at magdalenagrand.com.
At magdalenagrand.com, you know, submit your reservation or the dates that you are interested in, and you don't want to miss this great opportunity. So again, Melanie, we want to thank you so much this morning. Is there anything else that you want to remind our audiences all over the world listening this morning, particularly the ones that are still, you know, getting those last minute things together to come to Tobago for Carnival?
Well, for those persons that aren't sure about where they're going to stay for Carnival, we have a limited amount of rooms available. So you can reach out to us at reservations@magdalenagrand.com, or you can give us a call and we would be more than happy to accommodate you here at the Magdalena Grand.
Excellent. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to partner with to come and get 2 days at this hotel, right? Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you've been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and we want to say a special thank you to the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort for having us here as we've been covering the budget, post-budget discussion. We've been having our news here, our morning shows. We want to say a special thank you. And let me tell you, we have been really enjoying ourselves. I'm looking forward to breakfast this morning. I don't know about my colleagues, but yeah,
I'm sure they are as well.
That's what I'm about to do. Have a great day, guys, and see you soon.
It's a brand